All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're taking on a massive question, one that has puzzled people for centuries. Does God exist? But we're going to explore it through a really fascinating and, kind of unexpected lens, mathematics. We're going to walk through a line of reasoning that connects the numbers we use every day to infinity, reality, and maybe something more. So, you often hear this idea that science has somehow disproven the supernatural. And look, science is an incredible tool for explaining the physical world, right? But that's just it. Its job is to explain the natural world. By its very definition, it can't really say anything about what might exist outside of that world. It's just not the right tool for the job. But there's this other language, another system we use, that can explore things beyond what we can physically touch, and that's math. Now, on the surface, its definition seems pretty simple. It's just a system of numbers and the rules for how they all connect. But hiding inside that simple definition is a really, really weird paradox. And this is where it gets strange. Math is completely abstract, right? I mean, you can't physically hold the number 7. A lot of people believe it exists only in our minds, as a concept. And yet, this thing that seems to only exist in our heads perfectly, and I mean flawlessly, describes the physical universe around us. From how planets move to how atoms behave, it's all math. So you see the puzzle here. If math is the blueprint for all of reality, but it's not actually a physical thing itself, then where in the world did the blueprint come from? Well, this really leaves us with two main possibilities. The first one is that we just invented math. It's a clever tool we created to make sense of what we see, which would mean its origin is totally natural. The other possibility? We discovered it, that math was already out there, a kind of hidden operating system for the universe. And if that's true, well, its origin would have to be supernatural. The whole argument that we discovered math rather than invented it really comes down to one absolutely mind-bending concept: infinity. Because think about it. If we just made up math to describe our world, which is finite, why would it be full of things that are infinite? I mean, really think about this. There are an infinite number of numbers. And between any two numbers you pick, there's another infinite set of numbers. Or take something like pi. If we were just inventing it, we could just say, okay, it ends here. But we can't. Those digits go on forever, just waiting for us to find them. In fact, if you converted those infinite digits into letters, it's basically a statistical certainty that every book ever written, and every book that could ever be written, is already hidden there as a code. And this is where we hit a major wall. Our universe, as big as it is finite. It has a limited number of particles, a limited amount of energy. But mathematics is infinite. So how could a finite system, our universe, invent something that is infinitely more complex than itself? It just doesn't add up. If you want to actually see what this infinite complexity looks like, there's no better example than the Mandelbrot set. This incredible, detailed object isn't some artist's drawing. It was found when a mathematician graphed a surprisingly simple equation. This is what pure math looks like. The truly wild thing about the Mandelbrot set is that you can zoom in on it forever. You will never ever reach the end of the detail. If you zoom in on some spots, you'll find these perfect little copies of the whole thing. In other places, you'll find these amazing spiral shapes people call elephants. And somewhere else, you get these seahorse valleys, each with their own unique, endless patterns. It's a universe of infinite information, more than any human being could ever hope to see. Okay, so let's put it all together. No human invented this infinitely complex object. We just stumbled upon it by running a simple equation. And since it contains infinite information, it can't really exist inside our finite universe. So that leaves us with the big question: where did it come from? This is where the argument lays out its final steps. So first, math is an infinite concept that can only exist in a mind. Okay. Second, for a mind to contain something that's literally infinite, that mind would have to be all-knowing. Third, since this math is the blueprint that controls our entire universe, that mind must also be all-powerful. And the final step, because this infinite system couldn't have come from our finite natural world, the mind that contains it has to be supernatural.
So, an all-knowing, all-powerful, supernatural mind. When you put those three qualities together, you get a description that starts to sound, well, very familiar, doesn't it?
You know, this isn't some brand new idea. It's a thought that has resonated with thinkers for a long, long time. The famous scientist Galileo put it perfectly. He said, math is the language with which God has written the universe. It's this beautiful idea that the order and the infinite complexity we find in math isn't just something we made up, but maybe, just maybe,
It's a peek into the mind that wrote reality itself. Makes you think, right?